Alright, so this video is going to go over it's an older DCA, but it'll help you with the DCA you're going to take this week, okay? Alright, so I'm going to show you tricks and tips of how to do things. Alright, so it's not all going to be just like, hey, this is how you do the math. I'm going to show you a lot in Desmos as I can. Alright, so when you see the word equivalent, okay, the word equivalent, it actually talks about their graph. Okay, and it means that their graph is the same. So when you see what equivalent expression, it means that their graphs will be the same. And we've kind of done a little bit of this when I taught you this unit. So basically what you do is you type this into one line, and then you see which one of these gives you the same graph. Okay, so we're going to go to Desmos, and we're going to show you what I mean. Okay, all right, let's go. So you type in Desmos, the question. Okay, so the question was x squared, now it could be y equals, do it in parentheses, x squared minus 9, close parentheses, divided by x squared plus 8x plus 15, okay? Then line 2, all you're going to do is just go through your answer options of A, B, C, and D, and whichever one gives you the same graph is it. So answer choice A was y equals x minus 3 divided by x plus 5. All right, and then you get the right answer if you only see one graph. So how many graphs do you see? I see one graph. So your answer option is A. But I want to show you what it looks like to not have the same answer. So if I typed in answer choice B, y equals answer choice B, let's see if I can get it to go to the second line, equals parentheses x minus 3, Lord help me, x minus 3 divided by x minus 5. You see how you see two answers there? Okay, it's because it's not the right answer. Okay, so A is the right answer. So if it gives you only one graph when you type it in, that's your answer. So here my answer choice would be A. Okay, all right, let's go to number 2. All right, so number 2, hey, all right, so let's go back to question. There we go. All right, question 2. See how it says, this is why we go over vocabulary so much, because see how it says which expression is equivalent to? Equivalent in mathematics graphically means they have the same graph. So if this expression is equal to whichever one up here, their graphs are the same. Okay, so we're going to go back to Desmos and we're going to see which one's the same. Now see how it says A? Instead of typing A, we're going to type X. Okay, so this is going to be y equals parentheses x squared minus 25 divided by x squared. Tab over because this is a multiplication, so we're going to multiply by the next one, and it was x, close it, divided by 3x minus 15. Okay, so I need to figure out which answer choice is the same. So now I'm going to type answer choice A in. Y equals x minus 5 divided by 3x. Okay, all right, I've got two graphs going on here, so answer choice A is not it. So we're going to unclick it and take the graph away. The next one was A plus, it's x plus 5, so y equals x plus 5 divided by 3x. All right, I only have one graph, so guess who the answer is? B. So B would be my answer choice here. Okay, all right, next. This one, this is a subtraction problem. It's the same thing though. It's the same. All right, so this one doesn't say equivalent expression, but you see that equal sign right there? That means equivalent. Equal means it's the same. So again, it's going to be the same graph. So again, you're looking for which graph is going to look the same as that entire, like you have to type this entire thing in and see which one it matches. Okay, so let's go back to Desmos and we do the same thing again. Okay, so we're going to type it in and we're going to say y equals parentheses 3x squared minus 4x minus 4x plus 6 divided by x squared minus 2x minus 15. Tab out, and then we're going to subtract parentheses 2x squared plus 2x plus 1, close the parentheses, and I forgot the 1, divided by x squared minus 2x minus 15. So I need to see which answer choice gives me this graph. So answer choice A was y equals x plus 1 divided by x minus 3. Two different graphs, so A is not it. Let's keep on chug-a-lugging. So it's going to be y equals x minus 1 divided by x plus 3. Two different graphs, so guess what? My answer is, same graphs, my answer is B. Okay? All right. Next one, it's another equivalent expression, so the graphs are the same. Okay, so we're going to go back to Desmos, and we're going to keep doing the same thing, okay? Exit. So y equals x squared minus x. I forgot my y equals. And I forgot my parentheses. What you doing? Parentheses. There we go. Minus x minus 6. Close your parentheses. Divided by x plus 3. Nope, plus 3. Tab over, and it's divided. Now don't freak out, it's going to give you a big division. That's fine, okay? It means the same thing. X plus 2 divided by x squared plus x and minus 6. All right, so now I want to figure out who matches this. So I go, let's type in answer choice A. Y equals x minus 3 times x minus 2. Look, that's the same graph, isn't it? So guess what, guys? Did I type that in right? I did. Okay. Yep, so A is my answer choice. Okay? So equivalent expression just means whose graph is the same. Now, using long division, guess what? Your graphs will be the same here too. Okay? So let's do this one. All right? Go back to Desmos. Okay, this is another one. Simplify. Even though you're simplifying, it's still going to be the same graph. X cubed minus 6, got to put parentheses around it, divided by x minus 1. Oops. Okay, so I want to figure out who it simplifies to. So we type in answer choice A. X squared plus x plus 1 plus negative 5 divided by x minus 1. All right, I got two graphs. Well, because I typed it in wrong. All right, look, one graph. Guess what? That's my answer, guys. All right, let's see. How many slides we got? 22. Okay, cool deal. All right, 7. Find the remainder when this is divided by this. All right, to find the remainder, remember that when you plug in a number, so f of a number equals the remainder. Okay, so to find the remainder, we don't have to do all the long division. We just have to plug in that opposite number. Because remember, it's in parentheses, you got to do opposite. So x minus 2 is really f of 2. So I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to plug it in. And I'm going to say f of 2 equals negative 2 times 2 to the 5th plus 2 to the 4th plus 5 times 2 cubed plus 4 times 2 plus 1. And I'm going to type this into Desmos. Okay, and it's going to give you my answer. So here I go. So I'm going to say negative 2 times 2 to the 5th power plus 2 to the 4th power. Why did it do that? Plus 2, Lord have mercy, to the 4th power plus 5 times 2 to the 3rd power plus 4 times 2 plus 1. My answer is 1, and I go back, and answer is B. Okay? Next one. We just did one like this, okay? It said that the height of a box is represented by this expression. The volume of the same box is represented by this expression, which below represents the area of the base. Okay? All right. So remember that volume, let's switch here. Volume equals area times height. Well, it tells me the volume is x cubed minus 27. I don't know my area, and my height is x minus 3. So to find my area, I would divide by the x minus 3, and whatever that reduces down to gives me the area. Well, didn't we just be doing these problems? That was horrible English, but you get what I'm saying. That this is going to reduce down to one of these answers, right? So guess what? The graphs are the same. So we're going to go to Desmos again. We're going to see which one's equivalent. First, you type in the question we just formed. We said that it was x cubed minus 27 divided by x minus 3. So just type in answer. Let's start with answer choice A. X squared minus 6x plus 9. 2 graphs. So it's not it. Let's do B. B is going to be x squared plus 3x plus 9. Looky, looky. Same graph. So guess what? The answer is B. Okay? Next one. It says, what value must be substituted for P so that it can reduce down to x plus 9? Well, we want it to reduce down to x plus 9. So that means that whatever I plug in for P here, the graph must look like x plus 9. So why couldn't we just do trial and error? Type x plus 9 into the first line. Second line, we'll just sit here and play around with P. First we'll say x minus 1. Then we can say x minus 4. Then x minus 5. And then x minus 9. And whoever gives us the same graph is the answer choice. Okay? So we go up here and we're going to do that. Okay? So we first type in x minus 9. So x plus 9, sorry. Now we're going to play around with P. So we're going to say y equals x squared plus 5x. X squared plus 5x minus 36 divided by, here we're going to play around. It's x minus P. Well, our first option is 1, so we're going to say x minus 1. Well, that don't give us the same graph. So now we're going to say x minus 4. That gives us the same graph. So guess what? It's 4. It's B. Okay? Now, the way you could have done it by hand, okay, let's do this one by hand because just in case it's not multiple choice. So, remember when you simplify, you have to factor, right? So, I want it to reduce down to x minus 9. So, that means I need to cancel some stuff out, okay? So, I first have to factor this numerator. Remember I taught you how to factor in Desmos? You see where it crosses the x-axis? So, this is actually going to be x, let's see, x plus 9 and x minus 4 over x minus P. Well, I want this to be left over. So, that means I need this guy to be gone. So in order to cancel it out, doesn't P have to be 4? So they cancel out. So that's why we chose 4. Okay? Next one. If the binomial x minus 7 is a factor of the polynomial function, which statement must be true? If you're a factor equals 0. Okay? So it's obviously not A or B. And remember when it's in parentheses, you have to change your sign. So f of 7 must equal 0 in order for it to be a factor. So your answer is D. All right, next one. It says a polynomial this is given. What conclusion is valid if p of 1 equals 5? Well, we just said if it equals 0, it's a factor. So if it doesn't equal 0, then guess what? It's not a factor. So if p of 1 equals 5, it's not a factor. It's a remainder. So that means that 5 is the remainder of that polynomial. Okay? 0 is a factor. Any other number is a remainder. Okay? All right. We've done one like this too. Okay? Remember, this is where it crosses the x-axis. So I need to figure out which one of these crosses the x-axis at -3, at -1, and at 5. So I need to figure out which one of these graphs crosses at those numbers. So we go back to Desmos, And I want to type each one in and see who crosses at what I needed to cross at. So the first one is x cubed minus x squared minus 17x. Whoops. Minus 17x minus 15. All right, it's got to cross at negative 3, negative 1, and 5. Negative 3, negative 1, and 5. That one was way too easy. It's A. So A is my answer. Okay? All right. Next one, which statement justifies whether x minus 3 is a factor? Okay? Remember. So a factor must equal 0. So a factor is two things. Okay? Algebraically, it equals 0. Graphically, it crosses the x-axis. Okay? So I need to figure out where does this cross the x-axis at 3. So x equals 3. I need to know if it crosses at 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the graph and we're going to see if it crosses. So we're going to say y equals x cubed minus 3x squared minus 2x minus 6. Where does it cross? It don't cross that positive 3, does it? No, it doesn't. So I know it's not a factor, so I can go ahead and eliminate this and this. To find out what it equals, well, we already know what x equals 3, isn't it? But to find out what it equals, all you have to do is go up here, go back to Desmos, and just replace all your x's with 3's. It equals negative 12. There we go. So our answer is C. Okay? All right. Almost there, guys. All right. 14 says, which statement is true about the polynomial function? Well, it's talking about the roots, right? So remember, roots are where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? So I'm going to type that function in, and I'm going to see where it crosses. Now remember, the degree of the function. What's the degree? The degree is 6, right? So that means there are 6 roots. Okay, we need to figure out who's imaginary and who's complex. So I go up here, and I'm going to type this equation in. And I'm going to say y equals 3x to the 6th plus 2x to the 4th minus x cubed plus 7. Well, did I type it in right? I did. Does it cross this x-axis anywhere? It doesn't cross anywhere. So if it doesn't cross, are there any real solutions? No. So that means that they're all complex. It has exactly 6 roots that may be real or complex. Nope. Let's see. There's not 3, so it's not that. The roots are not real, so it's not that one. It has 3 roots. No, it has 6 roots. So it's this one. Okay? All right, this one. Which pair of values could not be the roots of a quadratic? All right, quadratic has how many roots? It's x squared, right? So there's only 2 roots for a quadratic. So only 2 roots. So it says which one could not be? Well, 2 roots. That one can be it, and that one can be it. Now, remember with imaginary numbers, you have to have the opposite with imaginary numbers. See how this one says plus and this one has minus? So that one's it. See how this is both plus? That can never happen. One has to be positive, one has to be negative. So B is my answer. Next one, which statement is about the zeros of a quadratic polynomial are true? Remember, you have 2 zeros in a quadratic. So let's listen. If the quadratic polynomial has 3 zeros, nope, quadratic only has 2 zeros. If the polynomial is quadratic, then it's going to have a maximum number of 2 zeros, not 3. Well, that's so far true. If negative 4 and 3 are zeros, the conjugates are, that's 4 zeros right there. You got to only have 2 zeros. There must be one complex zero, not just real. Well, that doesn't always have to be true. But this one is always true. It can only have a maximum number of 2 zeros. All right. Next one, what is the solution? Remember when you're solving, left-hand side is line 1, right-hand side is line 2, and you see where they intersect when you're solving an equation. So let's go back to Desmos. Line 1, line 2. Line 1, is the left-hand side, which is going to be 2x minus 3 divided by x minus 1. Second line is going to be right-hand side, so it's going to be y, oh, not x. It's going to be y equals x plus 1, 8x, sorry, 8x plus 1 divided by 4x plus 5. Okay, where do they intersect? Look right there. There's an answer. It's 2.8. But all my answers are in fraction form, remember? So x equals 2.8. Well, guess what Desmos does now for you? Desmos converts your decimals to fractions. So I can say 2.8. You see over here where it's got the blue that's highlighted? Click that. Look at there. It converted it to a fraction. I'm telling you, Desmos is thebomb.com. So 14 over 5 is my answer. Right there. Thebomb.com, guys. All right, 18. Which fraction represents the sum? Again, it's just something that's a simplified version of that. So the graphs have to be the same. So I'm going to type this in and see which one gives me the same graph. Okay? So I'm going to say y equals 2x divided by x plus 1. And it's the sum, so I'm adding them. It's going to be 1 over x minus 3. So then I'm going to do my answer options. Who gives me the same one? So start with A. So A is 2x plus 1 divided by x plus 1, x minus 3. Well, I still got 2 graphs, don't I? So that's not it. So let's do another one. So let's go to B. Y equals, parentheses, 2x squared minus 5x plus 1 divided by x plus 1 and x minus 3. Look at there. It's the same graph, isn't it? So guess what my answer is? B. Okay? Next one. So this is where you got to solve for k. And so you have to know your keywords here. So remember I told you a factor is where it equals 0, right? So if that's a factor, this equation will equal 0. But it only equals 0 if I plug in the opposite of the factor. So if I change all my x's to -3, it will equal 0. And I've got an equation here. Okay? So we simplify. -3 cubed. So we're going to simplify each section that doesn't have a variable in it. So -3 cubed is -27. This typed in the calculator is 36. This is still unknown, so we're going to say k times -3, and then plus 15 equals 0. Combine your like terms. So I'm going to say -27 plus 36 plus 15, if I was in the right spot on my calculator. And you can do this in Desmos. You know Desmos is an online calculator. So those added together is 24, and I still have the k times -3 equals 0. Now start solving. Subtract 24. I get k times -3 equals -24. Divide by -3. And k equals +8, and which is C. Okay? All right, next one. Next one's another solution problem. Same thing we've been doing. Left-hand side line 1. Right-hand side line 2. Okay? Anytime you have to solve for x, I promise you this will work. Okay? So we're going to type left-hand side in line 1. Y equals 7 over 2x. 7 divided by 2x. Tab out minus 5 divided by x. Next line is just going to be y equals 5. Whoops. See where they intersect. Well, they intersect right here. I don't know what's going on my computer. There we go. Answer is -0.3. We learned Desmos can convert that. So it was -0.3. So we're going to say -0.3. Hit this little decimal to fraction, and it's -3/10. So I go back, and my answer is -3/10. All right, here. in behavior, okay, I'm going to teach you where you don't need the chart. So we know anything to the right of the y-axis, my x's are negative. Okay, so my x's are negative. So we're going to say that's negative infinity. Your y's are wherever your graph is pointing. See how my graph is pointing up? Well, up's positive, so that's positive infinity. Over here, let's change colors. So over here, my x's are positive, right? But where's my graph pointing over here? It's pointing down, which means my y's are negative. So who has that pattern? Who has x's are negative and y's are positive? X's are negative, y's positive. And then it has x's are positive, y's negative. Well, that's not it. Okay? X's are negative, y's positive. X's are positive, y's are negative. So it's going to be B. Okay? All right, last one. This one says for what values are undefined. To find that, you have to actually solve your denominator. Okay, we didn't talk much about this. Okay, but anytime something's undefined, it is when the, sorry, my laptop's about dying, I'm unplugged. Don't die on me. Don't die on me. There we go. All right, so you take your denominator and set it equal to 0. So I need to figure out where this equals 0. Well, that's on your graph. So you take the denominator and you just type the denominator in. X squared minus x. It is 0 where it crosses the x-axis. So it's 0 at 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 is right here. And that's your answer. All right, so that's it for your DCA review. I hope this helps you. I hope you watched it before you take your DCA. All right, guys.